What are the different types of counselling?
Well, in a nutshell, there's existential counselling. That's where the theory is informed by philosophy, the philosophy of being. What does it mean to be? Mm-hmm. There is person-centred therapy, or counselling, and that's where the major work is focused on someone called Carr, who came up with 6 core conditions that were essential in any counselling encounter, which would enable counselling to work. There is psychoanalysis stroke psychodynamic, and that's based very much on the movement that was started by Freud and by Jung, and again there's been many writers since them. There's Gestalt, and there's CBT, which is cognitive behaviour therapy, and again that's very much based on things being in the brain and thoughts and how to change your thinking.
Okay, so it's quite complex, isn't it? Because there's all these different types. I mean, is there any way that people where can they go to find out more and kind of really digest the information? 2
websites that are very useful is the BACP website. That's www.bacp.co.uk. Now that's the British Association of Counselling and Psychotherapy, and they have a page that lists the different types of counselling and psychotherapy available. It's a good signposter to other sites as well. And there's also the UKCP, www.psychotherapy.org.uk, and the United Kingdom Council for Psychotherapy also have a page of information of different types of therapy that's out there and available.
So when somebody's looking for a therapist, what do they need to know from their therapist?
Key things really, what training their therapist has had, what regulatory body they belong to, and from a purely sort of basic level really, what insurance do they have?
Yes, because I guess looking on the internet it's quite confusing, isn't it? If you go onto one of these big registers, there's a lot of people mentioned and also lots of different therapies.
There are lots of therapies, and this is the thing that's very important, to find out what training, what school as it were, your therapist or the therapist you've been drawn to, because that tends to be what happens. Something happens, you get drawn to a name and you think, oh, okay, let's try this one.
Yes.
And it is sort of about, well, okay, let's find out a little bit more about this person. And of course sometimes that's by seeing who they've trained with, and look up that organisation, get some background as to what the training consists of.
And often it's on the website it can be sometimes what information is lacking that's important, can't it? What it doesn't tell you.
Absolutely. I mean, by looking at a website you get a certain amount of information, but it's what it doesn't tell you, in a sense, can inform your decision. So if you feel like I'm not getting the information I need from this, 1, phone the therapist and ask them what your questions are, or 2, just sort of listen to what your gut feeling is.